Welcome back to another episode of the Thought Collective podcast. We are back. It has been a while because, I don't know, when was the last time we did one together?
Okay, I should have done the research before we started this podcast.
It feels like a year. It feels like it's a literal year.
It does. It feels like it's been a long time. But no, I think it's the last time we did this recap. Did we do one for September?
I think September. I think we did one in October.
Okay, so we did October. I don't think we did September. Definitely didn't do
November.
How does the months work again?
I don't know. This is the recap, though.
This is the recap. We're a little behind. So, yeah, just a recap on why we haven't done the recap, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, ended up, schedules were off again, and then a lot of things came up. I ended up having my fourth kid now. So,
congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you. Yep. Leading up to that, him being born, I definitely... was really like trying to like get everything situated around the house, and just timing for trying to sit down and do this just was off. And then he was born, and then that was like, straight 2 weeks of not even being at work, so we couldn't even collaborate and be like, hey. So right. But yeah, it's 3 weeks now that he's been born. He's getting big. And so now I finally have a little bit of time to shoot out and come here and make this podcast. So.
Man. Happy baby, happy wife, or healthy baby, healthy wife.
Yes, exactly.
And happy, I guess.
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I got new phone just to be able to take more photos of him and whatnot, and
rocking the 11.
Yes.
Which we are filming on right
finally.
now.
So hopefully, so we're gonna try to. I don't know if I should say it over the the mics in case
it'll just jinx everything.
Yeah, and the camera's just taking shit. No, but yeah, we're gonna try to actually pull out shooting video of us. Now that we have the 11s, and the 11s can shoot 4K at 24 frames a second, and then hopefully they don't have a 30-minute restriction time on it like with the DSLR, or 12 minutes like my DSLRs.
Right.
Which luckily for when we did the
one with Doug?
Yeah, the one with Doug, we had me behind the cameras, so every time the 12 minutes stopped, dude, I could sit there and just refire them back and forth.
Dude, logistically, that was such a nightmare of a situation. Like this, that would never work with us. I'm glad that we're like trying to do video when we talk, but there's no way that happens with DSLRs.
No. Until I don't know why there's only a 30-minute on a DSLR. I have no idea. Yeah. They could probably just tap in there and just be like, read the card, because SD cards can go up to crazy amount of gigs now, so it could just theoretically just run. Yeah. But they won't. I think that's because they don't want you to buy a DSLR and then just forget all about their camcorders. Yeah. Because then you wouldn't even like buy a camcorder or jump up. You still jump up to a cinema camera, but you wouldn't want any of their camcorders because you're like, I just use that thing.
It's just, I try to think too, like how many different scenarios are you going to be in where you need to let a camera run as long as a podcast or some kind of broadcast or whatever.
Sports games.
Yeah, that's true.
But then you're going to probably be on like a camcorder.
Yeah.
Or something higher end.
Yep.
But, for the average consumer, that'd be about it.
Right. Yeah, and that's probably part of it too. They know their DSLR users are doing basic little videos. I guess some, not just basic, but photography or, video. They're not really intended for something like that, but... Hopefully this works out pretty well.
Yeah, and I'm glad that the iPhones are now starting, their camera and their video are starting to actually, come and compete with some of these cinema cameras and, DSLRs and whatnot.
Yeah, I've been having a ton of fun just messing around with it. And,
Yeah, they've really come leaps and bounds now with these phones, and that's why I finally just upgraded.
Yeah.
And I was like, we'll just use it, see how it works. As long as you light it right like we're doing.
Yeah.
As long as the runtime is more than 30 minutes, I'm going to be happy.
Periodically just checking. We're good.
We're still good.
This is how you do it, man.
Exactly.
But yeah, I know your wife told me to stop sending you like videos I take on the phone because I'm like, oh, it looks so good, so much better.
Because every time I saw it, I'm sitting there just like God dang, I want it. I'm like, I want it. And she's like, yeah, I texted Grant. I'm like, why? And she's like, I told him to stop. Right. But it wasn't very much longer. We ended up just going out because I had an upgrade through Sprint, and I was like, all right. I'm like, it was, which I'm really glad we just got the 11.
As opposed to the Pro?
Yeah, because I don't like the size of the 11 Pro. It's, I think, 5-inch.
Oh, the phone itself is a little bit bigger?
No, so you have the 11 Pro, which is the smallest one. Yeah. The 11 is a 6.1 inch.
Yeah.
And then I think it's like 5.8 for the 11 Pro. But anyways, it goes 6.1 for the 11. Size-wise. And then for the 11 Pro Max, it's like 6.5, which is like a brick.
Okay, yeah.
Which I don't need that giant phone. I wouldn't be able to go in my pants. Skinny jeans. But anyways, so yeah, I was looking at, for video quality and whatnot. And I know you get that third lens, which is the telephoto lens, which I'm never going to need. I'll just get closer.
Yeah, yep.
Realistically. And if I do need to hit something from farther away, I'm going to pull out my real camera and hit it. Yeah. This was, so you get the ultra wide on the 11 and the standard lens on the 11. And I think the 11 Pro, I know the Max you get like up to 518 gigs. I'm pretty sure I know it's 500 something of memory, a little bit better battery life, and then the screen is a little bit different. So I think it can shut the pixels off to make a true black.
Yeah, I remember you.
But I don't really care. I mean, I was coming from an 8, which the screen looks great, and I think you were coming from what?
The 6S.
Yeah. So I mean, this is like we're going from just like walking to like being in a race car.
Yeah,
so
it's quite a step up. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then I looked at. I'm like, all right, what processor is running? Is there a difference between the processor running the 11 Pro and the 11? And it's the same one. I'm like, so that means the two lenses that I actually care about, standard and ultra wide, are going to be the same. So the dynamic range is going to be the same. I'm like, so why would I spend more?
Yeah.
And with Sprint, it was a free upgrade. Since my upgrade time was up and it was Black Friday, it was like, just get a free phone.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yep. You said yours is what, 128 gigs is what you're...
Yeah, I paid a little extra to get, because I was going to get 64.
Yeah.
But because, having the newborn, and there's a lot of pictures and videos happening, and then knowing that we're going to have this podcast and we might have a 40, 50-minute run, I wanted to make sure that I had as much room as possible.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense. I went with the 64 just because I wanted 128 or whatever, but they didn't have it in black. I was like,
yeah, that was my problem.
I need black.
You just need it black, bro. Just want that black.
Well, we got lime green.
That's the ugliest color. Ugly. So yeah, there's like two colors that actually work. Black and red. So I wanted black, and he came out with black, and it's 64 gigs. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
And then my wife's like, no, I'm getting 128. And I'm like, well, if you're getting 128, and she just used it because she's a girl and wants,
more
space for games and whatnot, and the millions of pictures of her son.
Yep.
I'm like, no, I'm gonna bump it up too. Well, the guy comes back, he's like, all I got is red, and this is my third red phone that I've had. Yeah. So I'm like, man, I didn't want red anymore. I mean, it's nothing against it. I just wanted to change
Something
it up.
Different, yeah.
And my wife's like, just get a case. So I mean, that's it. You just got a little red smiley face, especially the way the cameras are looking at you. Two eyes. That's
awesome.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Baby recap for me. Baby came in, which that a couple months getting ready for that.
Yep.
We had the baby shower and then prepping the house, getting it all ready for him to come, make sure we had the clothes and everything, and then him actually coming and then trying to adjust into our schedule, because now that's 4 kids, so we have a lot of juggling going on.
Yeah.
So that's what's been going on with me for right now. I'll get into the rest of my stuff later. What have you been up to?
Well, I mean, like, I won't get too deep into it, but like some unexpected deaths happened in girlfriend's family. It's like 2 deaths in like the span of a week or two. It was just heavy hitting, so it kind of slowed everything down there for a minute. But getting back on track, I guess since then I've had some music put on some new albums for a publisher. So I wrapped up a track for that. It's kind of like guitar intro. So really it's only like they're shooting for about a minute length like track, but it's going to be like guitar themed trailer music. So that's kind of what I wrote for. So I did that. So I have been trying to put out some stuff. And then aside from that, I'm still working on this album. It feels like it's taken forever, but I've got this other album in the works. But we're getting there. We're close. It's, everything's written. It's just tweaking small stuff now. And then,
because I remember you telling me that you finished it. Mm-hmm. But now you're just going through the polishing process of,
And I was hoping to have it done, honestly, like probably a couple months ago now. But, things came up and other projects came through. I mean, there's some... I can't say too much now, but there's some film projects that came through that will probably keep me busy early 2020. So I'm really trying to kind of finish up this album before I really have to dive into all this film scoring work, which I'm excited for. But now the deadline's
man.
Yeah, now the deadline's burning a hole in my brain.
So really, what do you guys have to do to really put the nail in the coffin on that on your album? Like, what do you really got to do?
We're just going through track by track now.
Is there a lot of tracks?
There's 10 tracks.
Oh, okay.
So we're going through track by track, and he'll listen to it and tell me things he wants adjusted, or if the mix is a little weird, he'll have me adjust things. Ultimately, he's actually going to mix the album too, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
Just hearing someone else mix my music. I've been mixing all my stuff for a minute now, so having like a professional mix a whole album, I'm just really excited to hear it just come to life. Plus, I know he's worked for some really big names too, mixing wise. I think he told me he was an assistant for a guy named Chris Lord-Alge, which Chris Lord-Alge, I mean, he's engineered so many records, from like stuff like Green Day's American Idiot, that record, really? More recently, like there's a band called Bad Flower, and they're blowing up, and their new record was mixed by him. So This guy worked with Chris Lord-Alge, was his assistant, so it's kind of cool to have just that kind of connection there rather than me mixing it all myself.
Yeah.
So
no, it's got to be cool to have like someone else just come in and help out with the project.
Yeah.
I know with like some of the projects I've done, just having you come in and just help out a little bit, it's just like, oh dude, that's sweet.
Yeah. There's something about having extra hands on a project. It kind of like motivates you a little bit too.
Yeah, because then you get to kind of see their little their style come in, and then that actually might redirect you into somewhere else.
Yeah.
That you just didn't think you were gonna ever get to because you didn't think about it. So
right, exactly. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to recently. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, I've noticed some small like TV placements that have popped up. Nothing huge. More, I think it's some French TV stations use some of my music recently, which is cool to see.
The French, dude.
Yeah.
Progressive.
So. Yeah. But I saw that. But aside from that, I mean, I think my plate's full now. It's not too much. It's comfortable, but I've got enough to work on right now. But other than that, I don't know. I did see though. I don't think I talked to you about this. I saw the other day Discovery is working out this thing where they're trying not to pay royalties on music used in their television shows.
Really?
Yeah. And people are pissed about it, as they should be.
So the Discovery Channel?
Yeah, and whatever other networks they use.
So they're just like saying, we're just not going to pay you guys.
So yeah, essentially.
Do they do like an upfront pay and they just don't pay after? Oh, okay.
That's essentially what they're doing. They're trying to do what's called a buyout. Right? There's a technical term for the license they're going for. I can't think of the name right now. I'd have to look up the article. But yeah, they're trying to do buyouts as opposed to paying royalties, which is pissing a lot of people off because, I mean, that's like people's retirements in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
that back end is what they rely on.
Like, how big is, the Discovery Channel globally, though? Like, are they trying to, just kind of pay out because they're going to be airing it all over the world, and that would just
No, not
cost
that.
too much?
I think it's them just being cheap about it. Truthfully,
Seriously,
that's what I mean, because they'll stay.
Because I mean, I don't know how much how royalties actually work.
Yeah.
In a sense, and I mean, as a business, I can see trying to save yourself some money, but really, Discovery's huge though.
They're huge, but TV, I mean, I guess I don't know the exact numbers of like the buyouts, but typically TV doesn't pay very much money up front. I mean,
so it would have to be a difference. It would have to be a huge swing.
Well, really, what they're thinking is like these middle class composers are gonna have to get day jobs. It's gonna wipe out a lot of jobs if it goes through, which people are really up in arms about. So I hope that doesn't happen, because there's gonna be tons of young composers like myself that if they're not wise to it, they're gonna want to do work for these like Discovery, because that's a huge brand. They want that credit, but people are gonna get comfortable with it, and they're gonna basically want royalty free music, which
because if
kill the whole
because really, if you have one company that comes out and does that, then other companies could follow suit, and then it would just destroy everything you guys have right now.
Yeah,
and you would have to change.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so that sucks, and it's I've been reading up on it and hearing people talk about it, and I guess it's nothing new. It started small, though. It would start with your small music providers that would do royalty-free music for, like, YouTubers, and now that's coming down the trail, and it's getting into the big leagues, and it's either you're scoring movies for, like, $1 million, or you're working a day job.
Yeah.
It's kind of shitty.
That's not cool, man.
Just makes it a little harder to break into it, but I guess stay optimistic anyways, and...
Yeah, who knows? Maybe something, could come out of it. Mm-hmm. And open maybe a different door.
I'm definitely the kind of person too that tries to stay like optimistic most of the time. Yeah. But I know that just seeing like people in communities, there's a lot of things that are out there that are starting to kind of worry composers. Like, I know it's early in the works, but like AI, like artificial intelligence, like people are getting worried that like it's gonna replace composers when AI starts writing music. And right now, I don't think any of the music's too impressive, but I don't know.
I didn't know there was AIs out there.
Oh, dude, they're gonna like AIs.
So you're telling me they actually make music? Like...
Robots write music. Yeah, dude, and it's gonna get to the point that music's gonna be free. It's gonna be shitty,
Yeah, it's gonna sound horrible. It's gonna sound like human music. Because it's just because it has no idea what we like.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But people are legitimately worried, and I understand it too, man. Because I mean, you think about like some like basic like reality TV shows or whatever, like they don't need the most emotional music that like only a human could write. I mean, if they want simple like little background beat or something, AI could simply do something that would fit. So I mean,
I get being worried about AI, but really I think coming into what I'm doing right now, video and whatnot. I think the biggest thing that scares me is not AI. It's more of now it's so easy for so many people now to do what I'm doing. Because like when you walk into like what would it be? When you walk into whatever hobby career that you're gonna do and you start really researching it, you really get to see how many people are also doing the same thing because you're researching it.
Right.
So that's what scares me. It's just now everyone can upload on the internet. iPhones are crazy, so people have better cameras now. So that's really what always worries me is just how many people have easier access to do these things. So the pool is bigger.
That scares you though?
That scares me more than like a computer taking a better photo, because there is. I found there was an AI that can actually replicate landscape photography and whatnot better.
Yeah.
In a sense.
I think about that, and I guess like I'm sure it scared composers more than it scares me, just because I'm young and I'm still relatively new to coming into this. But I know like some composers would be a little more concerned that all these samples are available to composers. But I really think when push comes to shove, someone's skills are gonna outshine.
Well, yeah,
it's like a quality over quantity thing in that sense. So like I don't think I'd be worried as much if I was you, because like you got the eye for it and you're super talented, and I think those kind of things are gonna stand out more than a million people having the same gear. We could have the same gear, but what you shoot on a camera is going to look wildly different.
Exactly. And yeah, I think it's just more of like the butterflies of starting new.
Yeah.
And just looking up and seeing everything.
Yeah.
Because really, I don't look the other way. I'm always looking at better people, and that's what I'm trying to strive for. But
yeah,
I do know that from where I was, even me personally, from where I was, a couple years ago, it's leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
So, and I know there's people that are starting there still. So
yeah.
But I think just how wide the industry is.
It's exciting though, man. With more of that comes more tools that you're gonna love too.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I didn't even know about like sample libraries till about 3 or 4 years ago, and I thought you literally had to be as smart as someone like Beethoven or Mozart to write orchestral music. And I'm like, I can do this from my computer in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And
but it's taken years in practice to even like accomplish something that's worthy of listening to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Definitely. So. Yeah. There's a lot of time put in the craft, I guess you could say. But yeah. Oh man, it's interesting to think about. I don't know, I'm excited for it though. I mean, I think we live like in the best time period. Like I probably said it before, but I hear people talk about, oh man, I was born in the wrong like decade. I wish I could go back to. It's like, no man, this is like the best time.
Technology's new. It's innovating quickly, so you don't have to wait. Like honestly, by the time we're like 10 years from now, things are going to be so much more advanced.
Yes. Gonna just get better
and better and better, and we're literally riding the wave to that. We're young, we're learning,
right,
and we're not coming into it late, we're not coming into it too young.
I mean, think about it, man. Like 10 years ago, if you wanted to get into film 10 years ago, to get a really decent looking like shot, like cinematic, cinema cameras obviously are still super expensive, but it's just so much more affordable.
You can do it on your phone.
Yes, and it can look very good if you know what you're doing. Like 10 years ago.
10 years ago, not even 10 years ago, it was 720p was standard. Yeah. Not very long ago. Yeah. And then it went to 1080, which is now the standard, but 4K is right here.
I still remember when YouTube switched over to HD.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I remember when everything was HD? Like, everything had the word HD on it. Like, when it was coming in, they're like, this TV's HD. I'm like, no way.
Yeah. And I mean, shit, now it's 4K. 4K on our phones, and that just means,
I know. It's just crazy. How
when it's on your phone, 4K is outdated.
I remember, oh man. So it's like, that's why I like our generation the most. Yeah. Like, I really do. Like, some people are like, oh, I don't, either they don't like their generation or think their generation's the best. That's great. I'm not saying our generation's the best.
Sure.
I just think we are at a age group where we can play both. Like, we did play outside, because I remember there was a point in time where we didn't have, internet.
Yes.
Only like select friends had internet, and it was dial up, where it would just sit there and you try to turn it on. You try to turn it on at night, so they're not me obviously, but my friends' parents wouldn't hear it. We're sitting there covering it with blankies, just so when it starts screaming, we're like quiet. And I remember just being like, "Yo, man, let's get on AOL. Let's do some chatting."
Yeah.
I mean, that was the big thing, and before that we were playing with sticks and going outside, and now we have iPhone 11s that shoot 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah. AIs that are making music.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
And we get to see both. And I think that's why I like where we are right now, especially the ones that were early 90s, where we really got to see both.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So. It's amazing how, really, once technology takes off, how fast that really grows. Look back even 100 years ago. When, like, jeez, fuck, like, really, just you'd pick any.
Cars were just coming in.
Yes, what? Because the car changed everything.
What was it? It was like early 1900s. Around this time is when the assembly line started going in, so cars were starting to become more popular.
Yeah, that changed everything.
And now we have iPhones that shoot at 4K. Yeah. Crazy.
Moral of the podcast: technology is amazing, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh. Cool, man. But with that, that's why I've been trying to jump on different projects and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I mean,
to talk more about that, so I've been doing. I need more content, and one of the biggest things I do right now is to hang out with friends like you and some of my other friends. Is we play video games because being a dad of 4, I don't leave the house.
Yeah.
Because I need to be with them.
Mm-hmm.
So gaming with technology, has become more easier to hang out with friends that don't live right down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've been doing is we've been playing a lot of video games and recording it with the PS4, obviously, and that's where I'm getting my content to practice editing instead of having to go out, get a script, get somebody to stand in front of the camera, shoot something, then go sit down and actually record. I tried vlogging. I'll eventually get something out, but for now, I don't like sitting there listening to myself talk to nobody.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of gaming. We already had a channel, which it was called Two Dumb Guys. It was me and my buddy Dalton, and by calling it Two Dumb Guys, that tells me that channel should always have 2 people. And there's a lot of times where I'm just gaming by myself, and something happens, I want to record it, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna put it there. So I started a new channel, and the reason why it's named the way it is because I named myself Flo on the PSN back in like the PlayStation 3, and I'm like, well, I gotta keep it.
Right.
So I kept it, and it's gonna be called Flo's Gaming. Right now, working on 2 videos that I'm going to be posting.
Yep.
So as soon as I get those done and polished up, I'll post them to Twitter. I think it's the same name, Flo. I think it's under Flo's.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it is.
That's the problem with being named Flo, dude. There's like 8 million Flo's and whatnot. But I'll have it up there, so you guys can follow me on Twitter.
We'll link it down in the description of this video.
Okay,
too.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then I'll start doing, the Instagram and whatnot. It's real early, but I got to get home and eventually work on that.
I mean, that's
going to be the next recap.
It's called just being proactive, man. When you don't have a gig going, I mean, that's you're still getting practice. It's something you enjoy. Like, I mean, you just sit out and veg out playing video games anyways. Why not get something out of that?
Yeah.
Some practice. Or I think
that's what I'm doing. It's really because winter's coming. It's coming hard.
Yep.
And we're not going to be, outside very much anymore anyways. And to de-wind from work and stress of everyday life, you get on and talk to your friends and you play some video games. And Apex is the game of choice to go out and just take people down.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool to, be able to record that and then afterwards sit down, get my editing skills, feel like I, completed something and then grow that.
Yep.
So
I think it's a great idea, man. I'm excited. I'm helping you out with graphic design, logo and all that.
Yes, I still need a banner because I'm getting better at Photoshop.
Yeah.
A lot better, but yeah, that banner, that's gonna need some love.
Yeah. No, I do have to get to that. Past few days I've been so preoccupied writing music that I haven't had a chance to sit down.
Yeah, don't stop making money to help me make a banner for a channel that's not up yet.
Yeah,
which it will be because that's going to be, what would that be? December's recap.
Yeah.
No, we're in December. What are we calling this?
I don't know what I'll call it, but it's December. We'll call it December. That's a recap. Yeah. November, December. It's just a recap.
We're going to call this the multi-recap.
Yeah.
There you go.
But, I think the thing that's cool, too, is, on top of gaming, you've also got this thing going where, if you pay for PlayStation Plus, you get free games every month.
Yes.
And you're showcasing, what those games look like. If someone's interested in downloading those games, they can watch your channel. And then you're going to have additional, if it's Apex Legends or whatever you feel like playing.
Oh, yeah.
That's just a funnel for them to watch your other stuff.
You shouldn't ever not create just because you don't have, say all the resources. Find something that you can use. Mm-hmm. And that's what I have. It's PlayStation Plus, you're going to get 2 free games a month.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, just got to tell myself, as soon as they drop, download them, play them, do some kind of video about what the guy is going to be getting into, and then I'll be able to post those as quickly as possible. It will have to wait. I'm not a big channel where, you know, they're going to be like, hey, can you do this beforehand?
Yeah.
Where, you know, some gaming channels where they'll actually get the game, you know, a week or two before the actual launch. So I'm going to have to be quick on it. And yeah, and then all the games that I've, you know, accumulated over the years of just downloading, I'm going to be able to, you know, play and showcase. And so.
Well, I'm excited for that. That'll, you know, be that by the time you start getting more gigs too, man, like you're going to be more familiar with your software too. I mean, there's going to be things you're going to find out. I'm still figuring out things, you know, in Logic or whatever, or Photoshop if I'm doing graphic design. Like I've been working in Photoshop longer than I've been working in Logic Pro, and I'm still finding out new tools and all of it. So like,
well, because they're always upgrading it too.
That's true. Yep.
I know with you know the subscribe. The CC or whatever of the Photoshop, they're always updating.
Yep.
So, and I know you just had a huge update on Logic, so.
Yeah, there was an update, yeah.
Did anything change or no?
Not that I've noticed. I think it was more of a bug thing that they were trying to figure out.
But at least you know that they are updating, so.
Yeah, yep, they do it regularly.
And then, you know, with DaVinci Resolve, as soon as I, you know, land extra cash, I'm going to go out and buy the studio, and then that'll open up a lot more windows that I can start dabbling in and playing in and doing stuff like that. So, but yeah, don't ever cut yourself short just because you don't have, you know, whatever content you were originally going for. Branch out, find something that could work, you know, just in the meantime, and then, you know, practice your art that way.
Yeah, yeah.
So
the gigs will come, you know, but
you
know, there's no sense in just sitting around waiting for it sometimes.
Exactly. And then if someone comes up to you like, hey man, you know, I'm a huge gamer. My channel's growing huge. I have no way of being able to sit down and edit this, and say, you know, with me, I've been doing it on my channel. I could be like, yeah, I can edit your stuff. So then I could take some of that pressure off of him, and boom, now I have my own. I already know, you know, the gaming pool of what's going on there. I can just jump into it, and there's a paid gig right there.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, definitely branching out like that. I think about things with me, like, I've had instances I've just branched out and wanted to do something creative just for the sake of it, and it introduced me to people. Like, for example, you know, instead of writing music, I had this period of time where I was running a blog, probably, I'm going to say 2013, 2014, somewhere around that. I had a blog I was running, and it was all aimed around a specific genre of music, but I would go ahead and I would contact certain bands in that genre, and I'd basically just set up, you know, online interviews with them, and it's all just text-based interviews. We didn't do any audio or video interviews, but just something interesting to read, and just that reaching out. I mean, that's a connection I made doing something other than writing music, you know. Like, if I kept writing music, there's a chance I would have never talked to these people that I admired. You know, reaching out to those people because you're doing something else that's creative, I mean, sometimes helps your main craft anyway. So, like you said, man, like, don't cut yourself short just because you're not doing exactly what you want to do at the time. You know, like,
just
do something.
You know, as long as it's in the same realm, like you were still talking to people in the music, even though it wasn't making music, you were still talking in the same, you know, genre. Just keep going for it.
Yeah.
You know, just even if it feels kind of like different. Yep. Just try it.
And on a side note too, man, like the other side of that coin, I'm glad I did it in a sense, just because I realized I didn't love doing it. Yeah. You know, I probably did 5 or 6 interviews, which was cool. 5 or 6 bands I actually got to talk to and ask questions, you know, too, that I really wanted to know. But then I'm like, I don't like keeping up with the blog, and that was fine. I think that's the whole thing behind creative people. I think that's what Doug was saying is like, you know, you always have this urge to just do something creatively, and you'll explore all these different creative avenues anyways, and even if it's something you don't keep up with, it could still be extremely beneficial to the thing that sticks.
Yeah, because you'll learn something from it. Even if you don't like it, you're gonna learn something. Yeah. That's 100% what I feel about, you know, vlogging myself. Yeah. I did not like doing it. Yeah. But I learned so much about it. Yeah. Like, I didn't like knowing that I might start out strong in the morning. And then as the day was going on, I'm like, man, I really got to end this.
Right.
I can't start writing a book and then just not end the book.
Yep.
So then I have to go back and do it, and man, I just didn't like doing it. And I mean, I've edited a couple of them. I just haven't posted any of them just because I don't love them.
Is it really the main reason because you don't like talking to yourself, or I think
I like sitting down, knocking something out,
yeah,
and then moving on. And it was just, because with the kids and the family, it was really like I just forget to record, or I was living in the moment. I didn't want to live behind the screen.
Yes.
I didn't want to have to sit there and as like something amazing was going on in the family, I was trying to, hold my camera out and record it through myself. I didn't want to do that because then I was be very dependent on making sure I always had my phone on me. I was always, or my camera, depending on what I was using, and always having it ready and shooting where I rather just be there with the family. So I just that's kind of why I didn't like it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I think some of the lessons you probably would learn from vlogging, you can learn from something like this, whether it's practicing lighting or all those things. So, you can still learn those things without having to do the thing everybody else and their mother's doing right now.
Yeah, the vlogging, the best thing I think I learned from vlogging was, just story. Yeah, because you have to, it's going to be boring if there was no story. And I don't have a very exciting life, so I was trying to always showcase what's going on in more of a creative story style. But I think it was just writing the beginning of the story, which was the easiest part, but it was ending it. And that was the hardest part because, I start out, I'm very ramped up, I'm ready to go. I have all these ideas of how I want to play out this day. And then as the day goes on, I start, falling into hanging out with the family, doing things, and then not wanting to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, then you have to force yourself to do it. And then that's where I was losing it.
Yep.
It was having to force myself to finish it.
Right.
Where I'm like, no.
It's one thing when you have to force yourself to finish a certain project. It's another when it's something you just want to have fun with and learn.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. Sometimes with songs, if I've been sitting on a song too long and it's just a song for myself, I'm like, oh, man, I feel like I've already improved since this. I don't even want to touch it. I mean, on the flip side, I think there's something to be said about finishing things you've started, but yeah.
So, all right, what are your plans for, I know we're already, in December, but what are your plans until the next time we have our recap? Like, what do you plan on accomplishing, getting done and whatnot?
I'm really hoping to have the album done, or at least
done.
At least in the hands of, the mix engineer.
When can we get it?
Oh, that's the thing. I don't know.
Okay.
So I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be something that they want to keep industry for a while. And if that's the case, then it could be a long time. Okay. But I know with this particular label that they've publicly released some of their albums too. So I guess it just depends on what they're feeling at the time.
Okay.
If it's something I can release publicly, of course I'll add a little plug in to one of these. But regardless,
just have it done, polished up.
In a
next adventure.
Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
So, and then I think I'll start getting into some of the film projects, and I've got plans and things I want to accomplish in the new year, but I don't really want to take the whole New Year's resolution spin here.
No, because that's the next video. We'll have that in there.
Yeah.
So you guys stay tuned, and you guys can hear where we have our big plans for 2020.
Yeah. Yep. That'll be cool.
That would be.
All right, guys. Well, I think unless there's anything you want to add, I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think with my, what I plan on doing is just, practicing more editing, really start building that gaming channel. And I'm going to have to sit down and debate if I want to keep going with the Two Dumb Guys one that I already have out. Yeah. Or if I just want to kind of cancel that and really just push
the solo stuff.
The solo stuff. Mm-hmm. But besides that, that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. And then obviously editing this.
Yep.
Getting this all done. And then,
I hope this process is way more smooth too.
Oh, I really do. Because we've been checking these phones and they're still recording.
Yep.
I think the hardest thing is getting them off the phones.
Yeah.
I've been having a little bit of trouble with that.
Yeah,
so.
I'll test it out. Hopefully.
Well, with you, you're gonna probably Dropbox it.
Dropbox, yeah. I'll try airdropping it, see if that works well for me. I know you were having issues.
I was. Maybe it's just my computer or whatnot, but it was. I don't know. It just wasn't doing it.
It's a massive file. I mean,
this is going to be huge, so I'm really worried that we're not going to be able to get it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, with you, just Dropbox it to me, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's going to be what I'm going to be working on, and really focusing on coming up to our next video where we recap, and then do our New Year's resolution. So besides that, that's all I've got going on.
2020, man.
2020. It's gonna be my year. You already had a good year. I need some good year.
It'll be good. It'll be good for everybody.
Yeah. But. So I'm signing out. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. And if you would leave a rating on Apple Podcasts for us, that always helps the show out. So thanks for listening.